training another neural artificial intelligence bot, basically, to sound like me. Been doing this for Microsoft for over a year now, but this is a different client, and I'm doing US accent. Please let me know if anything slips by. I've been doing US accent for many years, lots of narrating and games and things like that. But words and phrases still slip through the cracks, so please let me know if anything don't sound quite right. This is calm emotion, this batch. So, yeah, very casual and relaxed. All right, where the hell was I up to? I just finished a very strange passage about a banana. I'm gonna take this off. This month, get ready for Guild Wars 2 and other MMO titans preparing to hit the scene in the next few months. The Secret World, WildStar, and Star Wars: The Old Republic. Inside, we speak to the developers and go hands-on to see which are the most likely to destroy your free time. The latest issue should be landing on subscribers' doormats very soon. Inside, you'll find sorcery, free games, Diablo 3, laptops. Oh my god. I never know how to say this. Ghost, you know, the machine, Deus Ex. Oh, that's so embarrassing that this comes up right now.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex?
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, see, now he's saying Deus Ex.
Ex.
I'm going to say Deus Ex. It sounds familiar. Deus Ex, Garbage Truck Simulator 2011. And more? Of course. There's not even close to... That's not even close to being everything this month. Special subscriber bonus, enjoy this great WildStar artwork as well as the Growly Guild Wars 2 version Enjoy this great WildStar artwork as well as the Growly Guild Wars 2 version. Using this strange ball as well, because because the pandemic studio closure, I have to record this in my home office, which sounds great. There's a little bit of reflection probably off the monitors, and this fixes it. This passed all their very, very strict studio tests. So the clients, that is, just going with this ball, which kind of distorts the cardioid pattern of the microphone, but it's absolutely fine. I think I sound okay for this application anyway. Let's go back. Enjoy this great WildStar artwork as well as the Growly Guild Wars 2 version you'll be seeing at your local newsagent. What's WildStar? What's WildStar? Find out inside. In previews, Tom Francis delves into deep into Diablo 3 to try out every single class on his quest to decide which he'll be taking to battle against the big red one. We also speak with Project Zomboid creators, the Indie Stone, about life as the world's most cursed developer, and bring you the latest on Rage, Might and Magic Heroes 5th, Payday the Heist, and the Big D's young arrival, Torchlight 2nd. I've been putting it off, but I should probably talk about the story missions. The pirates have captured, no kidding, you. The pirates have captured, no kidding, you, your brother, your brother's girlfriend. The pirates have captured, no kidding, you, your brother, your brother's girlfriend, your girlfriend, your friend, your other brother, and your other friend. By the end of it, I was surprised we didn't also find my mother, niece, and high school English teacher somewhere in the compound. It's not all bad. About half of the Jesus Christ. See, a lot of these are taken from vlogs, and it's just some teenage kid. So this hasn't been transcribed very well. About half of the, Jesus Christ, 38 missions give you enough freedom to have fun with the predatory combat systems that make the outpost fights so great. The other half irk. They're like a guided tour of all the clumsiest way to mash story and video games together until both of them break. You left the mission area. Restart. You lost the target. Restart. You failed the QuickTime event. Restart. A plot character got themselves killed. Restart. We spawned some enemies in a spot you knew was empty. Restart. Playing PlanetSide 2 is like being... Okay. Playing PlanetSide 2 is like being 8 and riding a bike without holding onto the handlebars. Mom, you're watching? Did you see that sniper shot? Were you watching when I jumped off the roof of that building, clamped C4 to a tank's hull, jetpacked over a cliff edge, and pressed the detonator? Did you see the time I spawned a Liberator gunship and picked Chris up at a base? Did you see the time I spawned a Liberator gunship and picked Chris up at a base south of a biolab being taken by the new conglomerate? He hopped in the gunner seat, Mom, and together we destroyed the enemy's only Sunderer. We blunted their advance, Mom. We blunted their advance, Mom. We blunted their advance, Mom. Mom, are you still looking? Keep looking, Mom. I'm going to do something cool now. You're never more than a few minutes from seeing something cool in PlanetSide 2. Vehicle spawn delays mean you can't spawn the same vehicle too soon after producing a previous one of the same type. Rather than frustrating, this provides me with an excuse to run the gamut of PlanetSide's varieties in warfare. Damn it. Rather than frustrating, this provides me with an excuse to run the gamut of PlanetSide's varieties of warfare. I usually start fights in a one-man mosquito fighter, trying to swat enemy I usually start fights with a one-man mosquito fighter, trying to swat enemy pilots out of the sky with air-to-air missiles. When I crash or get shot down, I change pace and climb aboard my Sunderer battle bus, providing a respawn point for my pals and healing any other vehicles that come near with... Providing a respawn point for my pals and healing any other vehicle that comes near with my engineer's repair tool. Thanks for watching on YouTube. And commenting. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Not sure if you're a bot. But you know the worst part? The really, really terrible thing? He ends up looking even stupider. Closer, Ferengi, Hynarians, everyone in Lex. You're no longer the laughingstocks of the galaxy. Even flying around on a gun platform in a collapsing boss arena, with the planet almost under his control, this guy takes the cake, then falls into the cake, then has the cake humiliatingly licked off his face by a goat with halitosis. But of course, looks aren't everything. What's the big plan? What's the big plan? Why invade Earth? Our resources? Our cats? No. Earth used to be the galaxy's picnic place, and he wants to turn it into a blossomy garden. No. Earth used to be the galaxy's picnic place, and he wants to turn it into a blossomy garden. Really, he says this. He also says, "You won't live to see it. Now die." But that's minor in comparison. You've got to love games like this. Good? Big ass truck just went by. You can soundproof all you want in this city. It is just impossible to avoid. Good? Hell no. But you won't get that level of alien overlord incompetence anywhere else, with the obvious exception of Strife, home of the worst superweapon of all time and a final boss who lives right down to it. Luckily, it has other charms. This one doesn't have anything like as much going for it. That's what the script says. But at least it is very short. Want to take a look at the whole thing? Here's your handy YouTube-based long play. An hour and a half. Good length for a bad game. And now we are doing beauty. Going from games, which I know something about, to beauty, which I know everything about. Okay. While citrus shades of yellow and orange stole the show this spring or summer season, another color is coming up on the lacquered horizon, green. And it's not just your typical Crayola hue, but follows most popular shades that are reminiscent of the 50s Bugle Boy styling. Army green, mint, olive, jade, and seafoam in metallic and creamy textures remind us of the retro color palette of futuristic kitchen design. We love khaki and sea green on tips and toes, so try out these polishes from the latest fall collections. We're smitten with Chanel's latest It shade from their fall 2011 collection. Peridot, an olive green shot with multi-dimensional iridescence, is inspired by its namesake. It truly looks like jewels on your fingertips. If you're searching for the perfect creamy turquoise green, look no further. When we first talked about the Orly Birds of a Feather collection, we knew the shade Lucky Duck was one of our favorites. Beauties, this glossy and cream finish is best served with a retro red lip. A few bloody tongue twisters there. It may be winter, but that won't stop many of us from ringing in the new year in a super short skirt. But looking fabulous in that mini requires more than a pair of sky-high heels. Your limbs have been covered and neglected since summer ended, and now it's time for a last-minute makeover. Well, here's a leg up. Read our simple guide to achieving glam gams instantly that no gym time required. Read our simple guide to achieving glam gams instantly that no gym time required. Buff away bumps by using a scrub containing glycolic acid. Buff away bumps by using a scrub containing glycolic acid. Pardon me, it's a nice compressed burp for you. The chemical exfoliant will slough off dead skin cells, explains founder of Spot Check and celebrity dermatologist Dr. Bobby Bucca. That's just how I'm going to say it. Or try a DIY scrub containing oil and sugar, which is gentle and moisturizing for sensitive skin types. Massage the blend into cellulite-prone areas to help loosen up lumps. Fuck was that? Massage the blend into cellulite-prone areas to help loosen up lumps and spur circulation. Remove stubble by slathering limbs with a thick shaving cream and shave in long upward strokes, starting at ankles and heading to knees. End up with razor bumps? Use straight razors instead of electric ones, because electric razors can twist and distort the natural morphology of the follicle, says Dr. Bucca. Products like 1% hydrocortisone can help combat some of the inflammation. Just occurred to me I might have left some effects on. Yeah, I did. Let's turn all those off. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh, it's time for a wee-wee. Still haven't made my be right back thing. Be right back. Actually, you're mobile, so... Back to work. I forgot to stop recording, didn't I? Yep. What was I up to? Two. Then hydrocortisone. Products like 1% hydrocortisone can help combat some of the inflammation. Cool. It's great. So. Yeah, fine. Okay. So. In addition to their day jobs, some of the most mundane household items can help you achieve your next manicured magnum opus. Let me try that again. In addition to their day jobs, some of the most mundane household items can help you achieve your next manicured magnum opus. We're talking animal textures and needlepoint-like accuracy. We've scoured the pantry and the craft bin for our favorite gadgets and gizmos and discovered that they lead double lives in the world of nail art. We've scoured the pantry and the craft bin for our favorite gadgets and gizmos and discovered that they lead double lives in the world of nail art. Yup, the chin, curd happy weave moonlights in the nail world. When dipped in lacquer, spread apart with fingers, and imprinted into nails, cheesecloth creates an easy, stenciled fishnet overlay without hand-painting lattice. We love the stippled effect of snakeskin on nails, but how do you achieve the serpentine finish without splurging on a real snakeskin manicure? The fibrous texture of a paper towel is strangely identical to our reptilian friends. The fibrous texture of a paper... I've fallen out of the swing of things. The fibrous texture of a paper towel is strangely identical to the... The fibrous texture of a paper towel is strangely identical to our reptilian friends. Simply, dab a small amount of polish onto a small piece of the towel, then sponge haphazardly onto nails, as steady as our hand. Oh man, it sounds like a motorbike. Up on the 29th floor. All right, I got to get back into the swing of things here. Simply dab a small amount of polish onto a small piece of the towel, then sponge haphazardly onto nails. As steady as our hands can get, nothing gives a nail design more precision. Nothing gives a nail more precision than tape. From color blocking to striping, the geometric effects are endless and easy to achieve. Photo, MIA Nylon Singapore cover, January of 2014 issue. It's a demanding time with traveling and running around a lot, but actually it's not any different than my usual schedule. I'm a workaholic. I'm very unapologetic about makeup. I believe that everyone wants to... Oh, pardon me. I really need a mute button. I believe that everyone wants to be beautiful, and to me, something is more beautiful when it's a personal choice. I can't stand makeup shame or snobbery. I've never heard someone say, I'm beautiful enough. We can all be more of what we are naturally, and with makeup, we can achieve what nature may have shortchanged us out of. I love drugstore mascara. CoverGirl's Lash Blast, L'Oreal makes good ones, and of course Maybelline. I also love Kiss Look So Natural Lashes. It's the best. Also, Visible Lift Concealer pens from L'Oreal are great. Photo, Christina Aguilera. Aguilera. I don't know what her name is. Christina Aguilera. Photo, Christina Aguilera. Keeps getting better. A decade of hits cover. What was your first memorable work as an artist? The moment that baptized me as a makeup artist was the first horticulture shoot. Was the first horticulture shoot I worked on when I was doing an internship for the Carita sisters. How did you know that the makeup artist industry was where you wanted to be? Although I always knew I had a creative flair, being a makeup artist happened by chance, really. I was doing an internship on aesthetics with the Carita sisters over the summer period and the transition period, my medical studies and my art studies. One day they were missing a makeup artist for a huge photo shoot with the horticulture edition of Vogue, so they decided to send me. At first, I was so nervous, but once there, I felt so relieved to be able to express my creativity. I didn't really know the rules of what had to be done, so I just followed my instincts and personal aesthetics. Luminous, even complexion, full separate lashes, contoured lips. The result was admired, and from there on, I was booked for more and more jobs. We really wish this 5-piece set was available when we first began wearing makeup. From eyes to lips, Benefit Cosmetics Homemade Hotness delivers the key ingredients every teen or tween needs to create her very first makeup look. The easy-to-use collection contains Benefit's best-selling favorites, including Bad Gal Bang, Volumizing Mascara, Hoola Matte Bronzer, Gimme Brow Volumizing Fiber Gel, They're Real Duo Eyeshadow Blender, and They're Real Double the Lip in Lusty Rose. Remember those best friends split heart pendant necklaces we used? Oh my God, come on, man. I'm so tired. Remember those best friends split heart pendant necklaces? Pendant? Remember those best friends split heart pendant necklaces we loved as tweens? This gift is basically the beauty version. The breakaway heart packaging holds 2 original beauty blenders and features a perforated bottom to ensure that, after cleaning, each sponge dries properly. Each blender is designed with aqua-activated material with minimal product absorption. Each blender is designed with aqua-activated material with minimal product absorption. Give your friend or family member a sentimental gift that just so happens to deliver award-winning oh, come on, man. A-E-I-O-U, lips, teeth, tip of the tongue. The breakaway heart packaging holds 2 original beauty blenders and features a perforated bottom to ensure that, after cleaning, each sponge dries properly. Each blender is designed with aqua-activated material with minimal product absorption. Give your friend or family member a sentimental gift that just so happens to deliver award-winning foundation coverage. School dances, debates, and first dates bring with them a great deal of DIY hairstyling. Most individuals who use heat tools for the first time are unfamiliar with proper styling techniques and end up burning their hair and skin, or sometimes surrounding environment. or sometimes the surrounding environment. This year, give the gift of faultless waves with the T3 Single Pass Wave Wand. Featuring one-pass styling technology for quick and easy curls, this tourmaline-infused tool minimizes heat damage with 5 adjustable settings, safe for all hairstyles. We also love how Single Pass Wave automatically turns off after an hour to prevent fires and comes with a heat-resistant glove to protect fingers. Yeah. So this is the luxury of also being the editor. I don't mind there being so many mistakes. Don't have to get it in one. As you notice, I do this little click, and I'm very good at picking up on those in the editing, and I can actually edit super fast. So errors in recording aren't that much of a big deal. About halfway through what I want to get done today. I don't like doing these in one big sitting. So I'm an old man with an old man back. Yeah, so like I said, this is the biggest, by far the biggest project I've ever been hired for. Pays really, really well, so I don't mind getting the accent right. It takes so much longer when I'm not doing Australian native work. I feel like I do have a good ear for it, and I pick up on it, but American words and phrases still slip through the cracks. Please let me know if you hear any, if you're a native American speaker. A lot of them are kind of dependent on where you're from as well. In America, it's a huge place. A lot of dialects and accents and things like that. So, I'd like to keep it going. Food. Sometimes I think the internet is trying to tell me something. Well, most days, many things, such as why should nobody ever click on a certain VMA performance, which is like begging me to click, only for me to run away with my hands over my eyes. Why would you do that to me, internet? Why should this lady be all of our new heroes? The effect of mirrors and grocery carts, and also maybe where does tiramisu come from? So much stuff, people. But sometimes the message is a little more pointed, such as the time a few weeks ago I was checking out Tres Leches. Pronounce. I don't know if you're going to hear this. Oh, I can't hear it.
Pronounce the name of this dish of this dessert.
Oh, hell yeah.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of this dish of this dessert.
Who is this guy?
Meaning 3 milk. How do you say it in Spanish? It is said as tres leches. Tres
leches. Oh, that is the best pronunciation video I've ever heard. Let's hope I don't get taken down for that. Didn't think about that. That was dumb. I was checking out Tres Leches. I'm going to jump in there, I don't care. Checking out Tres Leches cake recipe for research on a like-minded popsicle, and the sidebar suggested that... Go away. And the sidebar suggested that maybe I might consider making zucchini crisps instead. I was suspicious. Ever mushy and damp zucchini as chips, without frying but only using a tiny bit of oil? And so I clicked over. They looked beautiful. People seemed to universally rave about them. It was almost dinner time, and, as usual, fully prepared food had yet materialized on our table. Just reading it how I see it. The forces of the universe disappointing me yet again. And of course, because it was August, I had no fewer than 4 zucchinis withering away in my fridge, waiting to be called upon for a higher purpose. Pardon me. And now he's a cookbook author too. Amusingly, I think Matt and I signed our cookbook deals. And now he is a cookbook author too. Cookbook. And now he is a cookbook author too. Amusingly, I think Matt and I signed our cookbook deals the same week, except his book is in my hands right now and my book is, oh look, Manhattan Henge. Did you catch it? On a stick, yes, in which every recipe is speared or skewered or threaded on a handheld food device is truly an exaltation of summer. It's state fairs and street fairs, frozen beach treats, and the stuff picnics and backyard barbecues are made of. Skewered salads, grilled marinated kebabs, melon with spices and fried pickles. Even unfathomable things get adorably impaled, like fried chicken and waffles, meatballs and spaghetti, potato chips. Oh, and pizza too. It's lighthearted, but there's no skimping on the cooking. Coconut shrimp, Chinese meatballs, pork belly, and sweet and sour lollipops. Are you drooling yet? Back on the home front, wee Jacob is spending a few days at Camp Grandparents, splashing in a backyard kiddie pool, getting over his city boy fear of lawns and perfecting the art of tie-dyeing a t-shirt with watermelon juice so I can get some sleep. Make great strides on my imminently due cookbook, and I miss him terribly. It's only 3 days, but never has the apartment felt so dull when devoid of my curly-haired sidekick's glockenspiel practice. It turns out that cooking is a lot less fun when there's no risk of someone riding his trike over your toes in the kitchen. It turns out that once you get one decent night's sleep, you're all caught up and looking for excuses to go back to the playground again. And so I made him fudge popsicles from Matt's book as a welcome back treat. Thus, last night, I both cooked and ate pork tenderloin for the very first time, but most certainly not the last. I actually supervised the tenderloin after outsourcing it to my husband. Close enough, right? It was so much fun. Picture an actual summer day, and not this weather whiplash we've been inundated with in the Northeast, and imagine how delicious it would be to end with a light, bright bowl of glassy noodle salad decked out with strips of mahogany charred pork. Keeping it on this side of light delight meal inspirations. Pork tenderloin slathered with a lime, hoisin, soy, sake, ginger, and garlic sauce. I love you. Guess what else? I bought a mandolin yesterday. Man, is that a cooking reference? Not an instrument mandolin? Mandoline? Yeah, that's not a mandolin. I want the Spanish guy.
Mandolin.
So it's the same. Just checking.
Mandolin.
Okay, good. Is it because you play it like a mandolin? Is it literally named after the instrument? Who cares? Nobody. I bought a mandolin yesterday. Frankly, I've wanted one forever, but those things are notorious for their fingertip beveling abilities, and I'm not exactly renowned for reining in my klutziness. Reining in. Frankly, I've wanted one forever, but those things are notorious for their fingertip beveling abilities, and I'm not exactly renowned for reining in my klutziness. Also, they've always seemed pricey. As even the OXO one I set out for yesterday morning ran. Also, they've always seemed pricey, as even the OXO one I set out for yesterday morning. Ooh, why am I struggling with that? Yesterday morning. Oh, I gotta overpronounce that. Also, they've always seemed pricey, as even the OXO one I set out for yesterday morning ran nearly $70. Alas, I found a lovely little Japanese one for $27.99, and it works like a charm. You should have seen how fast it leveled what would have been an hour's worth of knife skills. You should have seen how fast it leveled what would have been an hour's worth of knife skills deprived chopping into piles of colorful matchsticks. Behold the slivered perfection. Behold my fingers still largely intact. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I cooked dinner Wednesday night for the first time in over a week. I blame the babka. Oh, and also the red velvet cake, and since we're pointing fingers, that noodle kugel is looking a little guilty too, isn't it? And 3-hour tortillas? Busted as well. Here's the thing with taking on more ambitious cooking projects. When I'm done, even the thought of a quick dinner or salad and couscous seems outrageous. I mean, we just worked our way through a pile of dishes that could rival that of the diner on the corner after the leather bars let out. And now you suggest I chop some green onions? Are you mad? Bring on the Baigan bharta? I'm guessing that's Indian. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's him.
You're looking at how to pronounce this name, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing food names that many get wrong, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. How do you say it? Baigan bharta. Baigan bharta.
Baigan bharta. Bring on the baigan bharta. Baigan. There's an N in there, wasn't there? There's no N in the script. Baigan. Bring on the baigan bharta. Eventually, however, I cave. I miss controlling what goes down our gullets. A recipe piques my interest. And in this case, it was a chance to revisit fideos after my last fairly disappointing experience. This beauty from the Julie Gourmet didn't include the original combination that wowed me at the Little Owl, but what is not to love about chorizo, almonds, chickpeas, and saffron? I say chorizo, chorizo. Chorizo? Ooh. I say chorizo.
Chorizo.
Yeah.
Chorizo.
Maybe it's just Aussies. Maybe it's just me that says chorizo.
Chorizo.
Yeah, that sounds way better. But what is not to love about chorizo? Oh my God. But what is not to love about chorizo, almonds, chickpeas, and saffron? I just realized we're almost halfway through with summer, and while I should be totally stoked about this, seeing as we're melting through our fourth heat wave so fast, seeing as we're melting through our fourth heat wave so far this summer in NYC, and given what awesome things are in store for the fall, I am spectacularly bummed as I am just getting used to having an avalanche of delicious summer produce at my disposal, and haven't had time to do half of what I wanted to with it yet. And haven't had time to do half of what I wanted to. And haven't had time to do half of what I wanted to with it yet. Plus, this guy turns 3 at the end of the summer, and I won't accept it. More time, please, for everything. I missed you last week, a crazy week that did not entail, as hinted, a vacation, but the heard it all before, so I'll spare you tune. But the heard it all before, so I'll spare you tune about too much to do and too little time. I've been cooking more this month than my I've been cooking more this month than my absence let on, just not a lot of things that seemed worth stepping up to this internet microphone to clear my throat and tell you about. Things like oatmeal strawberry cookies, which is utterly delicious, but only for the first hour, and after which they became chewy and sad. And a spectacular amount of broccoli slaw, which 5 batches already this summer create a record. A summery salsa fresca with the first cherry tomatoes to go with our huevos rancheros. Huevos. A summery salsa fresca with the first cherry tomatoes to go with our huevos rancheros. And a streamlined version of this summer's squash torte we can't get enough of. Tort. Is it a tort or torte? This is why I do not cook. It's tort.
Tort.
Don't even say the T, it's just tort. Aussie accent, man. A summery salsa fresca with the first cherry tomatoes to go with our huevos rancheros, and a streamlined version of this summer's squash tort we can't get enough of. There are new notes in the recipe, but I'd like to reshoot it and add more details soon, too. I made heart-shaped tiny whole wheat cherry chocolate chunk scones, closet cherry Garcia fiend, here for a friend's daughter's second birthday party, and I've been fiddling around with various baked chicken tender recipes. For times when you crave crunchy chicken but have little desire to deep or shallow fry anything. Looking for a winner. I should really import these into Word or something, just text files. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Let's have a look. Am I about to see myself? I didn't know I could do that. Let's have a look. Am I about to see myself? I could do that. Let's have a look. Okay. Am I about to see myself? I was trying to see if you could see. Surely, right? You can see who's watching. Am I about to see myself? Users in chat. You could see. Oh God, you could probably hear that as well. Sorry about that. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Education. Fourth, isolate the variables. Often, when scientists make observations, they don't just want one number. Rather, they want to understand the behavior of certain properties under different conditions, which requires making many observations. For instance, imagine that you wanted to know the temperature in your front yard varies throughout the day. Making one measurement of the temperature would not be enough. You'd have to systematically repeat the temperature measurements throughout the day, plot your results, and look for a trend. If you actually did this, you would find the trend to be roughly sinusoidal. Sinusoidal. I'm going to leave that. With the highest temperature occurring in the late afternoon and the lowest temperature occurring before sunrise. But now, what would happen if you measured the morning temperatures in your front yard and the evening temperatures high in the mountains? then you could not be certain if the dip in temperature was caused by the nighttime or by the mountain climate. For this reason, one of the most important methods of science is to isolate the variables. This means that everything is kept exactly the same in a system except for the one variable that is being investigated. When human subjects are part of the research, isolating the variables involves taking steps to eliminate bias. Pseudoscientists fail to isolate variables because this allows them to see the trends they want to see, rather than the trends that actually exist. Oh, slap. Pardon me. Yes, although rare, there are numerous instances of fish falling down from the skies. Of course, the fish do not really rain, in the sense of condensing out of water vapor. The fish that fall from the sky are just fish that used to be in the sea. So what puts the fish up in the sky in the first place? God, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? Although few detailed scientific observations have been performed on this phenomenon. 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 I think you guys say phenomenon. It just trips me up. Hello, clicky clicky. Oh boy. Oh, my poor laptop is in pain right now, I think. I've got it in a cupboard because by my calculations, the weather is cool enough that I could keep it in there with the door closed, so I don't hear it. You can probably hear it now. But, oh yeah, it's chug-a-luggin'. I do believe, because we are streaming... Why am I recording? Alright, I think the computer needs a break. Which is fair enough. Yeah, it's just started chugging. I should probably check the audio. Oh yeah, that's freaking high. We're in the 80s. Sinusoidal. I'm gonna leave that. System. Of course, the fish do not really rain in the sense. Okay, good. Occasionally, if the CPU drops because of thermal throttling. Hi. Oh god, see up my nose. It affects the audio, but it doesn't seem to have happened. Using this old ass. Can I turn this on? Edirol UA1000, which is frickin' old, but I absolutely love it. It's got all the ins and outs, lots of ins and outs on the back as well. And there's my poor old laptop in the... Yeah, that's warm in there. It's a Razer, and it does fine 98% of the time. But I think I'm kind of pushing it today a little bit. Oh, God, there's the mic, so you probably couldn't hear what I was just rambling about. Learning. I'm learning. Anyway. Has she chilled out a bit? Let's see. It's going to shut down Google because when it's scanning, it can use a lot of resources. I'll turn that off. I got Backblaze running now. That's not doing anything. Okay. So maybe now I'm not recording at the same time. It might be a bit better. Because I'm recording here in Ableton and also on OBS. I don't know why I was doing that. So it was, I do believe... Oh, clicky, clicky. Yes, although rare, detailed scientific formed on this phenomenon. Phenomenon. Although, and we were going to look up phenomenon. Did I spell it wrong? Yeah, I did.
Phenomenon.
Yeah, there's a non there. We say phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Yeah. Phenomenon. All right, door is closed again. We are recording, yeah? Although few detailed scientific observations have been performed on this phenomenon, the common consensus is that tornadoes are the culprit. When tornadoes traverse bodies of water, they become known as waterspouts. Waterspouts suck up lake or ocean water along with the fish or other creatures swimming in the water. The fish have sucked up the tornado's vortex and then blown around in the clouds until the wind speed decreases enough to let them fall back to the ground, perhaps miles away from where they started. According to Bill Evans' meteorology book titled It's Raining Fish and Spiders, creatures fall from the sky about 40 times a year. All sorts of creatures that have been reported raining down, including snakes, worms, and crabs, but fish and frogs are the most common. Even squid and alligators have been reported to fall from the sky. Often, the process of being swept high into the clouds encases these creatures in a layer of ice or hail that may still remain after they have plummeted back to Earth. Raining creatures encased in blocks of ice can be very dangerous and have been known to smash through car windshields. If you see any wildlife falling from the sky, seek shelter indoors immediately. Run around with like a saucepan. You eat acids all the time without knowing it, and it's usually perfectly healthy. The danger is eating strong acids in high concentrations. The word acid describes a wide variety of substances that lie on a continuous spectrum of strength from essentially neutral to extremely acidic. As most chemistry textbooks note, we are surrounded by acids. Citric acid is what gives lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits their zing. Phosphoric acid is phosphoric. Phosphoric acid is used in colas. The building blocks of life, amino acids, fatty acids, DNA, and RNA are all acids. Acid is one of the fundamental flavors our tongues can taste. We call it sour in everyday life. Anything that tastes sour has acid from vinegar to sour cream. Even strong acids can be safe in low concentrations. Hydrochloric acid is found naturally in the human stomach and is used to help digest food. The real danger to humans is when strong acids are found in high concentrations, such as the hydrochloric acid in toilet bowl cleaners or the sulfuric acid in car batteries. Returning to the original question, how do you know if a substance is an acid with a dangerously high concentration? There are all sorts of tests you could do, but it's better just to play it safe. Never eat an item unless you're sure it is food. Generally, it's not a good idea to eat household cleaners, disinfectants, antiseptics, rust removers, or battery juice, as these contain toxic chemicals, such as acids, in high concentrations. Checks out. This all makes sense, but they still seem to be photos. Hey there, sorry to surprise you. Oh, I gotta put the chatty on the screen. Let's try that. This all makes sense, but there still seem to be photos of the Earth taken from space that are not tinted blue. How can we account for these photos? There are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, many photos that are referred to as space photos or satellite imagery are actually taken from airplanes that are very low in the atmosphere and therefore don't pick up very much of the blue tint. For instance, most of the images in Google Earth were taken from airplanes. Really? What? I thought it was satellites. However, Google Earth artificially tints some images blue at certain viewing angles and zoom levels in order to make them look more realistic. Google Earth artificially tints some images blue at certain viewing angles and zoom levels in order to make them look more realistic. I guess that's when you add some atmosphere. Additionally, many photos of Earth that are genuinely taken from space have their colors altered in order. Additionally, many photos of Earth that are genuinely taken from space have their colors altered in order to intentionally remove the blue tint. Intentionally, dickhead. In order to intentionally remove the blue tint. As long as a photograph has accurate colors and is taken from space, the daytime Earth will be everywhere tinted blue because of the atmosphere. You may argue, I know my odds are low, but someone has to win. You're right, someone does have to win. That someone is not you. Someone also has to be Napoleon. That someone is not you. Someone was also strangled to death by her own scarf while riding go-karts. That someone is not you. Yes, fake atmospheric depth. They're used in movies and video games all the time, right? Otherwise, it just all looks like fake. Hong Kong adds atmospheric depth all the time. Sometimes way too much. Now, what is this passage about? You will not be strangled by you will not be strangled by your own scarf, so you have no need to fear scarves. Someone was pushed into a grinding machine by a robot. That someone is not you. Fantasizing about how wonderful it would be to win the lottery will not make that one person you any... Oh God, this is such a bad script. Fantasizing about how wonderful it would be to win the lottery will not make that one person you any... Oh, no, that makes sense. Fantasizing about how wonderful it would be to win the lottery will not make that one person you any quicker than it will turn you into Napoleon. Why do people keep playing the lottery when they consistently lose and the odds are so against them? The answer may be dopamine. Dopamine is a natural neurotransmitter that regulates reward-driven behavior. Rewarding behaviors such as eating and finishing a task raise levels of dopamine. Stimulating drugs such as cocaine and nicotine are believed to have such a powerful effect because they unnaturally trigger high levels of dopamine. The amazing thing about the dopamine response is that dopamine increases before the reward is actually obtained. I can hear like a cargo boat. Oh, it's moving really slow, damn it. I'm so close to the end of the script. And then I got, what? How many have I got to go? 2 more. That's not bad. Okay, I'm going to get this done before dinner. That's good. Happy Australia Day to any Aussies watching this. Gonna go out for fish and chops by the water in Sai Kung. Pardon me. Yeah, I better wait for this boat to pass. It's got like a really low rumbling frequency that makes it into this room. Doesn't sound that bad, but when I edit it, it'll probably be really obvious. So yeah, just to recap, I'm training artificial intelligence neural learning as a male US voice. Calm, natural, relaxed tone. And then my understanding is I'll be doing all of these again. Sad, angry, what else is there? Despair, I think is... No, actually, I think they're giving me different scripts for that. Yeah. All right, it's gone. I didn't stop recording. All right, where was I up to? Simply expect... I'm going to redo that in case of the boat. The amazing thing about the dopamine response is that dopamine increases before the reward is actually obtained. Simply expecting a reward is enough to trigger higher dopamine. Simply expecting a reward is enough to trigger higher dopamine. It is not the winning, but the expectation of winning that gives gamblers, oh man, come on. It is not the winning, but the expectation of winning that gives gamblers a drug-like high and keeps them coming back for more. Gambling is addictive in the same way that cocaine is addictive. Okay. Movies. This might be a bit more entertaining. Actually, no, I like that science one. Education. I'll be honest, I have learnt a few things in these. I go back and double check everything, but because they're random snippets, it's kind of general knowledge stuff that might come in handy at a quiz trivia one day. But you shouldn't listen to me too closely, because in interviews, one always tells a lot of nonsense, trying to express a dimension between philosophy and romance, whereas in reality, things are much more simple. When you first perceive that spark of light in the darkness, what attracts you to it? Is it physical, metaphorical, intellectual? I can only talk within the limits of what I do. I don't want to sound like Dante Alighieri, but the sign of a first contact having occurred, of being close to that still hidden and closed town, the thing that in the end will be the film, comes to me from a feeling of joy. It's like a pleasant tickle that runs through your entire organism. Entire organism. It's like a pleasant tickle that runs through your entire organism. That sometimes unexpected feeling of good humor and joyfulness is like a first greeting addressed to me by this new thing, a sign of recognition of a story already beginning to grow, a hint of greater precision about to occur. It didn't make much sense to me. I'm guessing these are interviews. Before Paul Sanchez's back screenings at Rendezvous with French Cinema on March 8th and 9th, Missouri. I was going to leave this up. How about that? Missouri welcomed me into her Parisian home for a conversation about her directorial process and her sporadic yet confident filmography that includes the Isabel Huppert-led period drama The King's Daughters. The return of the eponymous protagonist in Paul Sanchez is Back represents a return of the repressed, the brutal, cathartic eruption of long-buried words. Speech becomes a therapeutic action, a way for Sanchez to free himself from his traumas, as well as live out his fantasies. How did you develop Sanchez's monologues? Was it tricky to mold them into a simultaneous expression of intimate and collective experience? Sanchez's Logorias were written by my co-writer, Eve Thomas, who also came up with the idea for the film. Oh man, I'm losing it. I am losing it. Who also came up with the idea for the film. His wife has a house near the Recher de Roquebrune. Oh, I actually like these. Oh, I gotta be careful. No, I can't watch this while streaming, can I? Is that what I'm looking up? Rocher de Roquebrune, I bet. Something like that.
Roquebrune.
Roquebrune, I was way off.
Roquebrune.
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 Thank you. Roquebrune. Roquebrune. I'm not going to do a roll, I don't think. Roquebrune. Rocher de Roquebrune. His wife has a house near the Rocher de Roquebrune where Sanchez hides out, and he had taken his kids there before. Fucking car horn. And he had taken his kids there before, so he was familiar with the setting. Eve came to a writing session with a piece of paper on which he had scribbled, and I looked at it and said, "This is disgusting. We're not touching it. It's great." This is disgusting. We're not touching it. It's great. It was an outpouring of his heart and soul, which is why we kept it intact. Paul Sanchez is someone whose voice has never been heard and who yearns to unleash his vomit onto the world. But when he does, it was important that it didn't sound like spoken language. He's been romanticizing that moment for so long that he expresses himself in an almost literary way. It was difficult in the acting to preserve the literariness. While not falling into something theatrical, because Sanchez's words had to come out in the present and not feel fabricated. Can you describe your process of shooting that film's apocalyptic final act? As a camera operator, how do you experience maintaining such a heightened relationship with the character whose subjectivity you infiltrate and transcribe on the screen? Was it as equally excruciating for you as it was for Jennifer Lawrence? It was excruciating for everyone. I mean, Darren's movies are always excruciating to make, but I actually had a camera operator on Mother. But I actually had a camera operator on Mother. But I actually had a camera operator on Mother. So I didn't operate. But I actually had a camera operator on Mother, so I didn't operate myself. It's a funny process, like casting. We had to find somebody who is Jennifer's height, because Darren always wants the handheld camera to be the height of the actor, and Jennifer is taller than me, so I couldn't operate. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's always been about the height of the actor, but in terms of how the sequence was shot, oh, these are websites you're spamming me with. So do I need to block you guys? No, they're not. What are these? Okay. Can I block from here? Block user on YouTube. And then block user on YouTube. Okay. I very much appreciate that warning about nudes. Okay. Now, where was I before I was interrupted by the nudes? So that's interesting. He always makes sure he's got a camera operator the same height as the lead role. Yeah, it's always about the height of the actor, but in terms of how the sequence was shot, we started shooting Jennifer first. There were basically 3 shots, a medium close-up or close-up of her leading her through the space, an over-the-shoulder follow shot of her, and then her POV, that's literally the coverage scheme. We started shooting her first out of courtesy because she's the actress, but she didn't know what she was reacting to. The scene wasn't fully formed around her yet, and she couldn't get there emotionally. When we realized that, we started shooting her POV and over the shoulder first so that we could stage the chaos around her. But that meant she had to wait forever to get to the shot of her face. Meanwhile, the shot of us going through the space behind her became our master, and we could fine-tune the chaos happening around us. Jennifer had to wait for so long, but she never complained, and I think it helped her performance-wise. At least she was able to experience emotionally what was happening. Gonna get some water. Found a pancake. Even on the level of language, they all speak to each other with all their slang, but as soon as we come in, they bring it up to the same register that we're talking in now. That's why I really like the scene in the film where Olivia comes to their level and says, "Does it give you a hard-on?" And they're all really offended. How dare you come down and talk in our register? That makes me think about the texts that Antoine writes. Were you imitating anyone in particular? I actually didn't model that text on anything in particular. I wrote it myself, so I tried to make it sound like something he could write. And also I wanted to push it to the limits of this violence that he wants to express, but which is unacceptable. What's your next project? What's your next project? I'm curious to hear where you go from here. What inspired you to shift away from the traditional wuxia kind of swordplay? What is this word, wuxia?
We are looking at how to pronounce these words.
How have I never heard this guy?
Chinese, how do you say it?
Wuxia? Wuxia.
Pronunciation is as u xia.
Wuxia.
Xia. U as in W-O-A.
Wuxia. What inspired you to shift away from the traditional wuxia kind of swordplay and switch to kung fu martial arts? When I was preparing for this film, I thought that I needed to find something that would differentiate it from the work of other directors who were working for Shaw's. And the main thing that I wanted to concentrate on was finding the middle point between traditional martial arts films and something modern. I would like to stress once again that even though it came out of Bruce Lee's I would like to stress once again that even though it came out after Bruce Lee's arrival in Hong Kong, the filming process of this film actually started beforehand, and it wasn't really influenced by his style at all. I want to ask about a very specific aspect of the film that I think is unusual in the films of the period, which is that you introduce the three Japanese samurai, which is that you introduce the three Japanese samurai into the Chinese context. I wonder if you could talk about that, given that you're from Korea. Home stretch for the day. Provide. What does provide mean? I guess we'll find out. Cost. What can you afford? Adopting a dog or cat from an animal shelter or rescue organization can cost anywhere from $100 to $200. This fee will usually cover a spay or neutering, some vaccinations, and a microchip. If you buy a purebred from a breeder, expect to pay from $500 to several $1,000s. In both cases, you'll want to calculate annual pet care costs, which include food, toys, pet beds, grooming, vet bills, and lots more. Age. This is the big question. Puppies and kittens are adorable, but they need a lot of attention and supervision. A young dog or cat won't be such a handful and may already be trained, while an older pet will make a great companion. Size. Is your heart set on adopting a big dog or cat, medium-sized or small, or it doesn't matter? Health issues and other special needs. Would you consider adopting a disabled pet, one with an illness such as diabetes? What about an abused pet who needs extra love and care? What about an abused pet who needs extra love and care? Or one who's considered unadoptable because of the way he looks, like the winners of the world's ugliest dog contest? What is consent to sexual activity? What should I do if I have experienced sexual assault or other sexual misconduct? Well, this took a bloody turn. What if I report sexual misconduct to a university employee other than those listed above? What are my reporting obligations as a responsible employee? What will happen when I report sexual misconduct to the university? Is there anything I can do to preserve evidence of a sexual assault? Yeah, that was a weird transition, right? They really are random. Like, they've been put into 9 different categories, which is really typical for the text-to-speech training. It tries to give some kind of context, but this, I don't know, it's kind of seemed to be all over the place. What will happen when I report sexual misconduct to the university? Is there anything I can do to preserve evidence of a sexual assault? What will happen if the university goes forward with disciplinary proceedings? What sanctions may be imposed if a person is found responsible for sexual misconduct? What if someone attempts to retaliate against me for reporting sexual misconduct? What if someone attempts to retaliate against me for reporting sexual misconduct? What happens if I deliberately false report of sexual misconduct is... What happens if a deliberately false report of sexual misconduct is submitted? What steps does the university take to improve awareness of sexual misconduct and related issues? Yes and yes. Title 11th prohibits sexual... Sounds like a truck going by. Vroom vroom. That was a big boy. Title 11th prohibits sex discrimination in any education program or activity. MSU, sexual misconduct policy. What does that mean? What is that? MSU, sexual misconduct policy. sexual misconduct policy therefore applies to all members of the university community. Oh man, what am I doing? Community. MSU, sexual misconduct policy therefore applies to all members of the university community, including students, faculty, and staff. It also applies to independent contractors, visitors on campus, and those participating in university programs, such as summer camps and conferences. It applies regardless of a person's sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Android still has a long way to go in that regard. No matter how much I try to delude myself into believing that my phone has a snappy UI, that illusion disappears the moment I interact with any iOS device. It's so much more responsive that it makes me want to cry. It's so much more responsive that it makes me want to cry. This is important, Google. Fix it. It's unfortunate that many of the Android apps out there are mere shadows of their iOS counterparts. Pandora comes to mind immediately. Many Android apps look like amateur knockoffs in comparison, even when developed by the same company. And that's not even considering the multitude of apps that have no Android equivalent. Netflix, I'm looking at you. It's completely baffling that Apple would do something as clumsy as sticking an actual temperature 73 degree on the weather app icon. Really? It's completely baffling that Apple would do something as clumsy as sticking an actual temperature 73 degrees on the weather app icon and not make it update. The first big question my wife had about the phone was, why isn't the temperature right? It took me several minutes of Googling to discover that the value shown is static. Same goes for the clock. Seriously? This is obviously a long time ago. How can the frustrations over progress on nuclear disarmament? How can the frustrations over progress on nuclear disarmament, which led to the Prohibition Treaty, be redressed in persuasive and constructive ways? How can understandable fears of the potential humanitarian consequences of nuclear war be addressed? Will the nuclear-armed states' dismissiveness of and resistance to the Prohibition Treaty dampen or fuel political attention and mobilization around the issue in non-nuclear weapon states? Are nuclear-armed states prepared to accept potentially negative consequences for non-proliferation initiatives and the global non-proliferation regime as a consequence of their disregard for the Prohibition Treaty? Is it to the advantage of the Prohibition Treaty that the highest level officials in most G20 states have not felt the need to comment on the treaty or seen benefit in doing so? Does this response reflect the relatively low salience of the issue in most countries, and therefore the unlikelihood that great political pressure will be applied to prohibit nuclear weapons? How does the Prohibition Treaty and I think that's supposed to be non-commitment developments. Is that a word? Concomitant? I think it's supposed to be non-committant. Well, how about that? Concomitant? I thought it was commitment. What was that word?
Concomitant.
Concomitant. Concomitant. Yes, concomitant. Yes. How does the Prohibition Treaty and concomitant developments, namely its approval by the General Assembly, signature by 55 states, and nod in the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize announcement impact opponents' negotiating stances ahead of the upcoming NPT review process? Yeah, when I get dumped, if I had the keys to the nuclear codes, I'd probably launch that shit. Oh, hi, Mum. Oh my God. Nobel Peace Prize announcement impact opponents' negotiating stances ahead of the upcoming NPT review process? Will they be more or less willing to work toward effective measures on nuclear disarmament? Hi, Mommy. Are there concrete intermediary disarmament initiatives that treaty opponents are willing to support as a show of good faith in the project of international nuclear disarmament? Many things that impact health are out of the control of the individual. Racial and ethnic health disparities arise in many ways. Racism is often systematic. Racism is often systematic, not just the result of a conscious individual. It is a system of structuring opportunity and assigning value based on how someone looks. Healthcare is distributed by systems of power. Healthcare is distributed by systems of power, control, and management. These systems do not distribute healthcare evenly. Movement is absolutely mission critical. This is true not only from an energy or calorie expenditure perspective. I think I should make this. I'm finding it hard to see where the next line starts. I just give myself a narrower window. Let's try that. This is true not only from an energy or calorie expenditure perspective. Staying mobile improves every aspect of your well-being. Whether you're walking, dancing, or skipping rope, physical activity affects your heart rate, your breathing, your circulation, and your muscles, bones, and joints. You'll sleep better too. And keeping moving has the added benefit of lifting your mood. You can kiss that late afternoon sluggishness or evening letdown goodbye. Getting to your goal weight and, more importantly, getting into a lifestyle of healthy habits is easier than it seems. Grab a friend and get started today. Daddy says ho. It's December. We're in the last month of this year, and 2017 is going out with a bang. Until the 25th of December, we will crave romances which are adventurous, playful, and filled with lots of humor. If you are, stir up the good kind of trouble with your boo through thrill-seeking voyages. If you are, do not be surprised if a long-distance lover catches your eye. Be sure to proofread your texts over the next few weeks. On Sunday, December 3rd, Mercury went reverse, commencing its dreaded retrograde cycle. Hey, Allie. I'm training an artificial intelligence neural network to learn my voice, and I'm doing US accent, calm, relaxed, casual readings. And I'll be doing this for a very long time. So we're into astrology now. Yeah, so I've got my voice up on, maybe I'll leave it in the comments. My voice is being used by Microsoft Azure as a... Developers can put me in their program as the Australian text-to-speech guy, and it's kind of eerie how much it sounds like me. It's not perfect. It doesn't sound like... I think to most people, maybe they wouldn't really pick it up, but if you really listen, you can hear that it's a robot. All right, where was I? Mercury governs day-to-day expression, communication, as well as decision-making. When the messenger planet goes backward, it causes frustrating misunderstandings, as well as technological meltdowns and travel days. From now until the 22nd of December, make sure to check your wish list twice and choose your words carefully. Allocate some extra time for travel mishaps. Also, on December 3rd, a full moon happened in the Gemini constellation. The full moon illuminates the night sky, shining some unfiltered light on everything that we keep hidden. Don't be surprised if you have received some shocking information about your friends over the weekend. Don't be surprised if you've received some shocking information about your friends over the weekend. No, that's not right. All right, well, while you're still there, I'm going to bring it up. Microsoft, what's it called? Azure Text-to-Speech. I'll play you some. Is this me? All right, is that it? No. Text-to-speech. And I am English Australia, and my name in here is William. And I'll just play what it says. Hello, mummy. And it's not well trained yet. I've only got one speaking style. I'm giving it sad and happy and excited, all this kind of stuff. Hello, mummy. Hello, Alison. Hello, mummy. Hello, Alison. That didn't sound very good at all. Can't type with this thing in front of me. I'm just a robot, but I need love too. Aww. All right, am I going to press enter? Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot? Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot? Yeah, it's not right, is it? Between me talking. Between me talking. Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot? Any problems is due to whatever I fed it. So I guess my E's weren't strong enough, maybe? I don't know, but I gave it hours and hours and hours of material.
Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot?
Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot? Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot?
That actually sounds more natural. Wait. Where I go one. Can you tell the difference between me talking and the robot? I feel like it's too fast normally.
Can you tell the difference?
Okay. Hey, Brad. Yeah, so you can really, I think the main use is that developers can basically insert this code into their program and tweak it. This is, actually, here we go. Here, this is where you can really tweak it. Or is this just for sharing? I don't really understand it completely, but you can really get in there and edit inflection and things like that. That's why they're getting me to, so for example, if I look at US, I think it's got more styles. Yeah, so these are the ones that I'm currently recording for my Aussie William guy. Assistant, chat, customer service, newscast. So as you can see, it's geared towards text-to-speech programs reading articles. Maybe people want to have their stuff read, emails read to them on their phone, news articles. Really, really popular now is the chat with sales. Look at this right here. You could have this actually talk to you. I wonder if they're using it. That would be smart. If it ever loaded. And that will sound like, yeah, and this will sound like a real person. So I did heaps of, I can't quite hear you properly. Can you please repeat that? Like things like that. Anyway, I gotta finish this. Where was I up to? Is due to whatever I fed it. Right, am I gonna press tell the difference between me talking and not well trained yet? Don't be surprised if you, right. All right, well, while you're still there, information about your friends over the weekend. Don't be surprised. All right, I gotta do that again. Don't be surprised if you have received some shocking information about your friends over the weekend during this period. But also try to avoid the grapevine. Cosmic warrior, gossip is never a cute thing. Oh God, I think I might actually need the headphones on. It's helping me hear myself a lot easier. Okay. The ripples are still settling from the impact of Sir David Attenborough's latest. The ripples are still settling from the impact of Sir David Attenborough's The ripples are still settling from the impact of Sir David Attenborough's latest Blue Planet series, which has seen the world sit up and take notice of the problem we have with the plastic content in the oceans. What can the man not do? It's a cheering reminder of the power of public opinion. Nope, don't like it. In response to the general horror of seeing a whale caught in some out-of-date fishing netting, or how microplastics can accumulate in the stomachs of dolphins, we've seen Iceland pledge to eliminate all plastic packaging by 2023. London start a campaign to boycott all plastic straws, and Bollywood celebrities take to Indian beaches to pick up rubbish. With this popular movement afoot, this seems like the perfect time to talk about ways in which we can make our lives a little greener. A major factor for environmental change is undeniably consumer spending patterns, and one of the most interesting evolutions of the economy in the past 20 years is the rise of the sharing economy. Saini's pursuit for excellent quality is well applied in mobile phone manufacturing. Saini Mobile Phone was originally designed for the operators of construction machinery, since it is durable for outdoor use. Unexpectedly, it has been well accepted by the market and customers since it was released. On June 15th, unexpectedly, it has been well accepted by the market and customers since it was released. On June 15th, 2015, Saini Mobile phones were as gifts presented to African ambassadors. Saini mobile phones were as gifts presented to African ambassadors and officials. Who is this person? I feel like I should know him. Li Kexiang? I'm gonna guess.
So, he's the Premier of China. His last name is Li, L-I, Li. Did that great.
Li?
Keqiang. L-I-K-E.
Li Keqiang.
Li Keqiang.
Li Keqiang.
Qiang. So.
Lika, I barely knew it. Li Keqiang. Premier Li Keqiang called for solid and stable measures to support upward growth in a bid to achieve the target for economic and social development while attending a symposium with economists and entrepreneurs on July 6th. What is the Excavator Index? It is based on big data. It is based on big data and the Internet of Things, IoT, connecting machines with network, recording machines' data to get information such as the operation rate of infrastructure construction. At a certain degree, Excavator Index reflects China's economic situation, which provides a reference for Premier's work deployment. I'm losing it. Bye, Mom. The Hand and Scepter is a modern, stylish bar and restaurant with a relaxed theme and unique menu. Part of the Innkeeper's Lodge collection. Hotel Devin Tunbridge Wells is set in one of the historic Spa Town's architectural landmarks, a Grade 2 listed sandstone mansion built as a private residence in 1762. We have strived to retain its authentic detail carefully, adding our unique touch to the 34 bedrooms with antiques and memorabilia. Guests can enjoy a game of bowls or linger over a meal on the garden terrace with its wonderful views across Calverley Park. Pardon me. The hotel offers 84 well-appointed rooms, all now equipped with the latest flat-screen LCD TVs, featuring in-room entertainment and direct broadband internet access in every room. Along with the ongoing investment in the hotel, new digital key locks throughout for added security and convenience. With excellent conference facilities and a fabulous poolside leisure club, the hotel is well equipped to organize and prepare meetings and events tailor-made for you. Ample free car parking for over 200 cars, an ideal venue for any big day. Oh, I'm bloody losing it. Nearly there. Along the way, there are some surprising observations, such as his assessment of Assassins as his most perfect show. But all clips are exceptionally well chosen. He's candid and forthright in discussing his difficult childhood, his fractious relationship with his mother, and the creative process. He kids himself in a newly written self-deprecating number where the cast pay him the ultimate homage. Is Stephen Sondheim God? Is Stephen Sondheim God? Is Stephen Sondheim God? Terrific as all the cast members are, including, in smaller parts, Aaron Mackey and Matthew Scott, Cook is the class act. Looking trim, her voice is still a marvel, pure and agile, and no apologies whatsoever need be made for the lady's age. Her classic, In Buddy's Eyes, sounds as fresh as when she first sang it in the Follies concert at Lincoln Center, and her Send in the Clowns is as lovely as any version you've ever heard. But this no grand dame trotted out to deliver the occasional big moment. Cook is an active part of the ensemble, moving about the stage and interacting with the others in complex medleys, including a delicious sparring version of You Could Drive a Person Crazy with Wopat. And she's allowed to go into character for scenes from Passion and Sunday in the Park with George. Throughout, Lapine has given her some priceless bits of comic business to undercut any notion of a diva turn. Her entrance, which I shan't spoil, is very funny. You'll have to pick up a copy at the stand for the recipes, but I can tell you they look really good. On the way to the Hudson Valley Rib Fest last weekend, I had lunch at the Piggy Bank, Beacon, NY, located just off I-84 just before the bridge if you're eating west. Hearing some banging. Damn it. located just off I-84, just before the bridge if you're eating west. They're surrounded by antique shops, and they have a convenient parking lot. A few years ago, I tried to have lunch on a busy Friday and waited an eternity without being seated, so I left. On Saturday, the service and attention were first rate. How was the food? I'll let you know in my upcoming review. Yeah, I can hear that question. I haven't said much since my second visit, so there's been speculation both ways. After my first meal there, I said that I enjoyed everything, but wondered if there was still room for greater heights. On my second visit, the wow factor definitely came into play, as some of the items, lamb ribs, pork spare ribs, Big Lou burger, dry rubbed wings, were spectacular. Not everything was perfect, but on the whole, Wildwood still holds their own in any conversation about New York City's top few barbecue joints. I spent considerable time typing up the review yesterday, which explains the lack of an update, and we'll post it early next week. Oh, last one for the day. And then I got to do about the same volume tomorrow. Chelsea was in my soul class last week too. By the way, Julie, I'm one of your new fans. I learned a lot from your session at the fitness magazine Meet and Tweet. That would make my day, week, to see a celebrity. So jealous. Oh, man. Probably like a delivery motorbike I can hear. By the way, Julie, I'm one of your new fans. I learned a lot from your session at the fitness magazine Meet and Tweet. That would make my day, week, to see a celebrity. So jealous. I normally go to this class on Wednesdays because that is my favorite instructor. I'm so sad I missed you. I've been dying to try SoulCycle. I have a free pass to the one on Sunset Boulevard near my apartment in West Hollywood, California. I need to get over there. I met Chelsea Clinton in February 2008 at Texas Christian University. I was a junior in high school there for a conference, and she was there campaigning for her mom for the presidency. I was able to get a picture with her before she left, definitely my highlight of that year. SoulCycle is definitely a one-of-a-kind experience. I am not much for stationary cycling. I run outdoors all year round and like to ride a bike on a bike path though. But the few times I've gone, it's been an intense workout. It's a little too competitive for my tastes though. There are other girls in NYC who log on every Monday to book their bikes, and it's a race just to sign up. All right, so that was a pretty rare, very, very long recording session. I try to break these up. Oh, man. Long story short, but the regular studio is closed because of the pandemic, and I had to scramble to get this office ready for recording, which I do most of my recording in here, but because the client was very, very strict about passing audio tests. That's why I'm using this little thing. It just absorbs a bit of reflection. I think it reflects off the monitors. Anyway, took a long time to get approval, and now the delivery, they want it Friday for nearly 3 hours of audio, which I can do. I just don't want to do it that quickly. So I try to break it up. Anyway, I don't know why anyone is watching this. Maybe you're interested in getting into voiceovers. I don't know. But yeah, chat with me if you're interested, if you want to know anything. Honestly, I did this for shellfish reasons. Can be very boring, as I'm sure you're aware from watching any of this. So keep me company. This is why I like the idea of streaming. I'm not expecting to get any viewers, but just one or two will keep me company. I like the idea of having a chat there and responding. I don't know. I've been doing this a long time now. I've been running my business since 2000. It's 10 years. Thanks for keeping your Twitch open, man. So, yeah, some days it gets a bit samey, just depending on the material and how much I have to do. So today was a perfect example. I wanted to try and keep it interesting for me by having you here and just trying something different with this streaming setup. Because I like tech. All right. Well, thanks for your involuntary stream, Niven Sama. And even if it's nice to have someone talk while you work, even if it's just mindless scripts. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks. And I'll probably do this tomorrow because I got to do it all again. I got another, how many scripts? Today was 9. Oh yeah, they're exactly the same. Yeah, it is weird stuff. Same categories, but I checked they are different scripts. Thank God. So yeah, it's actually very manageable. I've got to edit all this, but I'm super fast at editing. That's why every time I make a mistake, I go like this, and I can see it in the audio, and I can just cut it out really fast. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.